Welcome to the Drawing Room Express. This is Zaib. This time last week was a very difficult time to be a Liverpool fan, and whoever watches football or soccer, whatever you want to call it, or the Premier League specifically, or is a fan of Liverpool, can attest to that, and their family members can attest to that too. तो सीन ये हुआ कि last week, before the press conference, I think on Friday, or I don't know, late Thursday, something. Liverpool's head coach and manager, Jurgen Klopp, announced that he's going to be leaving the club at the end of the season, which is May. So pretty much about 5 months. And he's ending his contract with the club prematurely. I think about 18 months left on his contract or something like that. So he still had a year after this particular season, and obviously he decided to end. But I'm not going to talk about like the legacy of Jurgen Klopp and best matches and memories, and also diving into whose replacement will be. I think that's something I can worry about at a later date. And that discussion will come. That discussion will happen sooner rather than later. But at this point, I think the one thing that stood out to me as a result of this announcement, particularly, was the overpowering sadness that I felt when this happened. And I mean, maybe sports fans can attest to this and say, yeah, this happens if your team loses, and these kind of emotions are attached um with like you have these emotions attached with your team. That's pretty normal. But I'm not talking about the normal feelings, because I know what normal is. Losing a game, feeling sad, feeling angry when the performance isn't up to par, getting pissed off when the referee is not giving if the decisions aren't going well. Those are like normal emotions, and I'm not I'm not um I'm not I felt that before, and I'm no stranger to those emotions, is what I was going to say. But this is not the emotion that I'm talking about. The emotion is when someone's leaving the club. I remember when Rafa Benitez left the club. I don't remember feeling anything like that. I remember when Steven Gerrard left the club. I don't remember feeling like that as well. Luis Suarez, Fernando Torres, big players, Xabi Alonso, wink. So these are big players, and big things have happened. We've lost like finals, and nearly made it and nearly didn't make it. So those kind of heartbreaks have happened. Especially a couple of years ago when we lost the league on the last day, and the last 10 minutes of the league being wrapping up. That's where we lost it. No fault of our own, obviously, but it was just didn't happen for us. So those kind of heartbreaks, and then losing the Champions League final to Real Madrid, just a week later or something like that, must have been like one of the most difficult moments in recent years. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about real life emotions, to actually feel that कि कोई मरा नहीं है, कोई like people leave their jobs is completely fine. I think that Klopp's going to be at Liverpool forever? No, I was not stupid enough or naive enough to think that. But I still felt that. And this feeling, I don't know, maybe I'm not doing a good job in describing this feeling, but the feeling was different from all the other feelings that I feel when we're talking about sports. But born out of that, I started thinking about, is it because he's going out on such a high? He's won everything with the club. He demands that sort of you know, admiration and adoration. And I think this would be a great description of what I'm trying to say here. Um, I think some time back, and this I don't know when this was, maybe a year or 2 years ago. There was a poll, or there was this, on the streets kind of a, interviews. The interview was asking Liverpool fans, okay, what would you rather have? Winning the league or the Champions League or something like that, or Klopp leaving? Um, uh, and sorry, like Klopp staying. Uh, so which one would you choose? Um, and predominantly, a lot of them kept, saying, I don't care about the trophy. I just want him to be here. That is different, right? You know what I mean? I mean, if it's about supporting your team, if it's about being successful or feeling successful through your team, then merely winning should suffice, right? You don't care, like, okay, manager comes and goes, that's fine. He's not going to be there anyway, forever. So might as well just enjoy some victories and some success. But that is obviously not how a lot of the fans feel and felt, including myself. Would I take long term? Would I take short term success over? I mean, would I take, like, now, knowing that he's leaving at the end of the season? Would I take us not winning the league if that meant that he stays? Yeah, I would lose the league in a heartbeat if that meant that Jurgen Klopp would stay. So it's very difficult to describe this feeling, okay. But I hope through examples and certain anecdotes, I think this perhaps would make it easier to digest for some people to understand what this feeling is. But going back to my question, like, why is this the case? I always do that when these kind of things come up and I'm feeling a certain way. I try to get to the bottom, at least for my own sake, that कि ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है. अगर बहुत ज़्यादा सक्सेसफुल होता क्लब अंडर क्लॉप, तो समझ में आता है. If it was Pep Guardiola leaving Man City, or Pep Guardiola leaving Barcelona, or some Alex Ferguson leaving Manchester United, तो, तो समझ में आता कि यार, you've won so much and there's like so many great memories with the manager, but we have just won one of each title. ऐसा कुछ नहीं किया है हमने कि we won like more than one of a title. In 8 years, 8.5 years that Klopp has been at the club, we've just won 6 trophies. Our first trophy came in when he was in his 4th year. So for 3 years or 3.5 years, or maybe 3 years, we didn't win anything. We reached a few finals, yes. We reached a few occasions and milestones and whatnot, but we didn't win anything. So how come someone who wins 6 trophies in 8 years, 9 years is so important to the fans that they would continue to lose finals and continue to lose titles if that means that this guy sticks with us? It's a very weird feeling. I mean, I'm pretty sure no fan in the world right now, and we're nearing Super Bowl weekend pretty soon. I'm pretty sure 49ers or Chief fans. I don't watch the game. I don't watch the sport at all. I don't know if they have any this sort of like association with their coaches or their players, even, where you're happy to jeopardize short-term success over just this guy staying. Not even like guaranteeing long-term success, by the way. Just this guy staying. That's all. And that got me thinking about the meaning of success, the definition of success. And I wrote like some sort of my thoughts on a post on social media last weekend, and that's why I'm having this conversation here on the podcast as well. Is I wanted to share that how I understood the meaning of success through Klopp. So one can argue that, is he successful? Like defines just by looking at the trophy cabinet, um, probably no. Just purely numbers wise, maybe no. I mean, we've lost more finals than we've won, or maybe the same amount. I think. शायद एक फाइनल हमने extra जीता होगा. That's it. But that we've lost finals under him. We've lost two European finals under, three European finals under him actually. So yeah, actually we have lost more than we've won from a final perspective. We've lost the league on the last day twice. We have, last season was poor, as everyone knows. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई बहुत ज़्यादा winning every as Donald Trump used to say, you'd be tired of winning. ऐसा कुछ सीन नहीं है. ऐसा कोई सीन नहीं है. But generally, if you ask a non-fan of Liverpool that is he a successful manager, people will say yes. But there's obviously grades of success, but that feeling isn't attached to the likes of Alex Ferguson's or even Pep for that matter. Pep remains to be seen, but I'm pretty sure it isn't. Even at Barcelona when he left, they just went on won the treble the following year or the couple of years later, so it didn't really had an impact on them. But the fans didn't really weren't that close to him, even though he was an ex-player. But I digress, and I think what I'm trying to say here is that what I understood after seeing the admiration and love that Klopp almost demands from us fans is that the level of success has to be seen through massive context. And the context that I'm trying to get at here is that staying in England, competing at the top of the table for about 9 years now, with this Liverpool squad and live with the Liverpool players that we have, with the money constraints that this club has been facing. And it's not because we're doing badly, it's just that we're trying to play by the rules, which nobody else is. Everybody else has their ass caught up in FFP, but I don't hear any even slightest of murmurs around FSG being blameworthy in that department. And trust me, they haven't been perfect owners, but one thing that you will be sure about is that they really handled our finances very well. So we are running the club in the right way. It's just the other clubs just are not sustainable, and they will find out sooner rather than later, hopefully, especially the likes of City and Chelsea, that you fuck around long enough with your financing, you pay the price, on and off the field. So I think the definition of success is not just winning trophies or lots of trophies. I think it's about, in Klopp's own words, is leaving something better than what it was when you found it. And that's what he said. That's something that he said, and I think in one of the first interviews that he did when he joined the club, is that I just want to leave this club in a better place than it is right now. That would be amazing. And he is by a million mile he is leaving. I mean, for the next manager, this would be a very, very good team to inherit. I don't know about the Man United team that was inherited by Moyes. That was shit. We found out. We're still finding out. Clearly, Arsenal's team was shit when Wenger left, so they didn't do anything at all. Took them a while to recover. So this is, and anyone walking into this job, they're gonna be thanking their lucky stars. This is amazing. This is not a team in decline in terms of its growth trajectory. Cycle ka end nahi ho raha. That's, if anything, it's the beginning of a cycle. So it's a perfect time to leave a team, because it's gonna get better from here. Simple as. So it's leaving the place that you joined or the club that you joined in a better place, that in a better situation when you joined. So I think that, and then also the fact that it's not just about the titles you win. Of course, winning a title is successful. it's an achievement in itself. No one's denying that. I'm not denying that. And people might say, oh, you're saying this because you lost a few games and you lost a few finals and titles, so obviously you're trying to make yourself feel better. No, I'm not trying to make myself feel better. Like I said, for us, winning titles, no matter how important it is, it's not the be all end all. It's the feeling that comes with it. That is the success. I think people get bogged down in this material world. Yaar, show the returns in some sort of form. I mean, it's not just about that. It's not just about the returns you show on a material sense. It's about how you what feelings you're leaving and what feelings you're creating as well. I think um, Klopp's reign, I think, in 20, 50 years will be much better remembered than some of the other managers. I'm pretty sure. I'd argue even better than it will be remembered in a better light than Pep's reign at City in 50 years. Because Pep's reign is on paper, freakish. People are like, oh yeah, of course he's successful. But will people remember him from like a charisma and impact standpoint? Maybe in the technical world, yes, but not in the common man's world, the fans' world, no. Or the general, you know, passerby fan, no. Klopp, yes. So I think that's success. He didn't lose to Man City, and he was not like an almost winner, um, uh, and therefore that should be considered as a failure. No, I mean people who are watching football, people who know what Man City is, they are a club backed by a fucking country. They are owned by the sheikhs of UAE. They have no particular cash shortage. They can just buy anyone they want, and they can sustain that too because um, they can get them at a better salary as well. Not saying that they're throwing money around left, right, and center. Of course, they're not. They have some good things too. Like the coach, of course, has a huge role to play with it, but um, it is an anomaly. You cannot normalize that and say, yeah, or whatever. Okay, you should still be able to beat Man City. No, no one's expecting that, and no one should. So with against that worldly situation where everything's going against you, and for the other team everything's going for them, to be able to create an environment where the coach of that said team, Man City, Pep Guardiola, says that he is my biggest and most fearsome competitor in my life, in my career. He's like, that's the guy. I just and he said, I know he was being like, very generous and all, but I'm pretty sure he means it too. That he said he's going to sleep better now that Klopp's not going to be around next year. And it is, if you see the record that Klopp has against him, you wouldn't be surprised why he said it. So, to do that, to go punch by punch against the best team in the world, to chase 4 titles, 4 trophies in one season, nobody has done it. No team. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's some nerds out there who can find this, but I'm pretty sure no team has ever played every possible game of a season in recent past. I mean, and I'm talking about 4 trophies. So playing all the rounds of the cup competitions, playing all the Premier League games up until the last one, and hoping that you would win, and Champions League final. So all the games in the Champions League as well. So every game. So going for 4 trophies in that squad with that depth, with the way they play as well. It's not counter-attacking football. It's aggressive, fucking on the front foot. It's remarkable to do it the way he did it as well. I think that is why I think definition of success will have to change and be nuanced. Going by my previous episode where we talked about nuance, it's all about nuance. It's all about context, and in the context that that we see Klopp's career in. It is success. It is success left, right, and center. Everywhere you look at it is success. He made players better than they were. I mean, fucking Van Dijk. Unbelievable player, yes. But is he better than when he was at Southampton? Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Is Allison a better player to what he was at Roma? Yeah, he is. So all these big money signing people like to think यार उसको बस पैसा फेंका और बड़ा player ले आया. Yes, they're big players, but they're better as well now. Far better than what they were before. Mo Salah, you know, Mane, Firmino, better than when he was, like prior to Klopp. So, that is also success. Making the players, team, and then most of all, the the, the feel good factor. I mean, the fact that people were on social media. I mean, granted, it was just hyperbole, but they were feeling like someone in their family died. Um, and I could understand that. I could. Uh, um, but yeah. Anyway, definition of success, I think, is just more than the trophies, than the amount of games you win. It's how you win them and the context in which you fight for them. I think fighting to win is the real success. If I were to just summarize my definition in the episode, you know, um, f- competing to win is the real success. Obviously, when you win, you win. No one's doubting that. But when you're competing to win, that's success. And not saying that every second place finisher is a winner as well. No. Man United finished second a few seasons ago. They were like 20 points off Man City. So yeah, of course not. What I'm saying is that fighting to win, and then there's honor in that losing as well. When you fight to win and you couldn't make it at the end, there's honor in that, and that honor, I feel like, is actual success. Well, subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. If you're listening to us on Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon and a bunch of other hosting platforms, subscribe, rate the show, leave a comment, or share the podcast. And yeah, let me know if you guys agree or disagree. But yeah, that was definition of success, Jurgen Klopp. But we'll talk about the long-term impact of what that happens and what that means, potential replacements. I know people are hot on Xabi and others, but I just want to take some time and see how the season ends before we really dive into the fantasy world of see what I'm excited to see what happens. Well, we'll be back with another one. Thanks. Bye.